Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Today we are bringing back some of that 2007 NASCAR Cup Series nostalgia here on the channel with a 20 lap 2007 iRacing AI Daytona 500 where I'm going to be racing as Jeff Gordon, my favorite driver of course, overall in the NASCAR Cup Series here. So I was very excited to kind of hop in to do this. I saw this was a collection with the ARCA car with the 2007 roster, so I said let's mess around here on iRacing and do the 2007 Daytona 500. Now this is actually I would say about two Daytona 500s before I got into the sport of NASCAR, so I never got to see the 2007 Daytona 500, but obviously growing up as now a big NASCAR fan, I've seen so many highlights of the 2007 Daytona 500, and especially the final lap with Kevin Harvick and Mark Martin side by side to the line, and then as well with Clint Boyer going up and over there. So it's certainly a very, very monumental race in the history of this sport in the 2000s for sure. So I was excited to kind of mess around on here and see if we can maybe put Jeff Gordon in victory lane. There was actually a couple of other Jeff Gordon cars here in the roster, I noticed. So there's actually like 3 Jeff Gordon cars, but we're going to ignore that part here. As you can see, the rest of the field coming through. And look at this. One thing about the iRacing AI at the plate races, they immediately do this 3x3x3 action here. It is no hesitation whatsoever for them to get the elbows out and just start going at it. Kyle Busch there for Hendrick Motorsports at the time, and that number 5 leads the way across the line as we continue right behind the number 38 of Elliott Sadler, I believe it was at this point in the Cup Series. Now through 1 and 2, you got Dale Jarrett up here in the mix on our outside, or is it Ricky Rudd? I can't even remember. Is it the number 44? It is the number 44 of Dale Jarrett, actually. That was just ahead of us there. But then you got the 10 of Scott Riggs and a bunch of drivers around us here that I just kind of brings back those early days. I remember playing NASCAR 07, and this is the roster I always saw here. So I remember NASCAR 07 was, I think, the 3rd or 2nd NASCAR game I had played. I can't remember, but I remember my first game was actually NASCAR 09, and then I went and played NASCAR 07 after NASCAR 09, but I played both of those on the PlayStation 2. Now as you can see though, trying to mess around here, I was seeing what we could do because we were on the inside line, but we weren't really going anywhere, so I jumped up to the top and that wasn't really working very quick, so I jumped into the middle here behind Juan Pablo Montoya and see if we can make something happen here in the middle. And gotta be really careful with the bumping in this ARCA car here because of the way the bumpers line up. You can easily turn somebody around and cause a pretty hefty accident here in this Daytona 500. So I was trying to be you know, careful with my bumping, but I was also at the same time trying to test the limits because I found how far I can push here, but it's a little bit dangerous to test the limits here. Now actually to turn 1, a bit of a moment there. You saw a bit of a stack up in front of me, and I got into the back of I believe that was Reed Sorensen in front of me, and that kind of broke up the pack a little bit, but fortunately everybody would get gathered right back up immediately, and I was in the middle still behind David Reagan here as we come through the tri-oval, already approaching the final 13 laps of this race here now as we try to close up to the back of that AAA.com car down towards turn 1 into the back of Reagan. Now same situation as a lap before pretty much, but you're gonna see right here what happened as well with David Reagan. Another check up there. I'm not trying to bump him here, I just simply didn't check up in time, and he goes into the side of the 2 of Kurt Busch, and fortunately we all keep it going in the right direction. But things calmed down after that. Well, I say calm down, it was 3x3x3 once again, the whole field deep. Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, they're up front, the other Jeff Gordon up front as well as all Hendrick Motorsports leading both or all 3 lanes here. Hamlin and Kenseth and Burton there second in line just behind those drivers. Kyle Busch doing a great job there on the inside. This will be his final season with Hendrick Motorsports in the NASCAR Cup Series as he moved over to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2008 to take over that M&M's number 18. Now it's crazy to think how long Kyle Busch has now been at Joe Gibbs Racing there. It's insane, but nonetheless, I mean, continuously 3 wide in the middle here. I got the number 66 on the inside now as we continue to just try and make some headway, but it was difficult. It was really difficult to actually make some headway here as we were closing in towards the later stages of this race. You could actually see up ahead there was actually a lap car. I didn't know who it was here, but through turn 1 you can see, yes, we are running down a lap car. The inside line, Kyle Busch is going to be at a huge disadvantage. He's going to have to check up the whole line. The middle lane checks up as well. Fortunately, I had an opportunity right here, just about to jump up to the outside. Didn't quite take it there, but the middle line wasn't stacked up too much. Certainly not to the extent that the inside was, but here was my chance. So I jump up to the outside here, try to get that slipstream from David Reagan all the way up there in front of us, but he's going to jump down to the middle lane as I try to side draft that 18 of Labonte here, just trying to pull him back. Or actually, I don't even know who's in that 18 at this point. It's not Labonte. Is it JJ Yaley maybe? Labonte, I'm sure, was certainly towards the end of his career at this point. I don't think it was on Joe Gibbs Racing, so correct me in the comments section on that one here as we would move back up here a little bit further throughout this field. That lap car really gave me an opportunity to make some headway here. So now into the middle in these closing laps here in this Daytona 500, all over the back of the 44 of Dale Jarrett. What can Brown do for you? It can get out of my way is what it can do, but it's certainly not doing that. So they're asking what you can do for me, but you're not doing what I want. So we continue to ride behind that number 44 of Jarrett here. Now Montoya on the outside of him. You got drivers like Reagan, Hamlin, of course, Gordon and Johnson all up there in the mix. Greg Biffle up here, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr. As we continue to the final now 4 laps of this 2007 Daytona 500 now as we try to continue to make something happen here down the back straightaway. 4 laps to go. Actually, I got to the back of the 44, kind of hooked me. We're 4 wide actually with Martin Truex Jr. on our outside down into turn 3. Too big of a bump there, and we're going to go crashing into turn 3, and the caution's going to fly in this Daytona 500. And oh my goodness, that was just a simple choke on my end there. I don't know what I was trying to do on that one. I wanted to see, you know, how much I could really get away with here, and I certainly found how much I can get away with because I gave the bump to the back of the 42, turned him, and then Truex was there, and we all go crashing, or well, really just myself goes crashing there. So unfortunately, finding the limit that I didn't quite want to find, and we pay the price for it. And we don't have overtime in iRacing AI, so we would actually only have a 1-lap sprint for this 2007 Daytona 500 victory, with Jeff Burton leading the way back to the green flag. So unfortunately, our chances of winning this Daytona 500 are non-existent now as we head down towards turn 1. But could we maybe come out of this with a top 20 still with making the right moves? That's also relatively unlikely at this point here as well. But nonetheless, I mean, it was a fun race to do here with the 3x3 action now. And I cannot wait to bring back the iRacing career mode here as soon as Next Gen AI is in the game. So stay tuned on that because it sounds like it's not far away. But there you see up at the front, it's going to be Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon side by side here with the 43 pushing that 31. Here comes Jimmy Johnson with a big push from Reagan on the outside. They're going to be 3 wide again, 3 cars up there, but it's a very strong 3-car push here as they head down this front straightaway. Johnson has the advantage into the tri-oval, and it looks like it's going to be Jimmy Johnson will come through to win the 2007 Daytona 500 here with the iRacing AI. How about that? Jimmy Johnson with the W here, and what a fun race it was for us to do. An unfortunate ending for us, obviously, but if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Just a fun little video to do, and I hope we can continue to do stuff like this in the future. But that does it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.